meet our another real-life hero, Ishita Khanna, a young, bright, beautiful woman working in Spiti and making Spiti residents ecology sensitive.
Now here's a real green hero we found at 17,000 feet. Meet 31-year-old Ishita Khanna. She is defying all stereotypes to help the Himachalis of Lahore Spiti combat climate change.
When you started working in Spiti, there was no STD booths, there was no internet. So I mean, just any sort of communication with the outside world would basically entail taking a trip down to Manali and, you know, doing the communication there.
She moved out of her Delhi home to set up her NGO Ecosphere and showed the people here that they can live off the local resources by quite simply harvesting a local wonder berry, the sea buckthorn. And with that was born the brand Serin, which in Spiti means blessing for a long life. Women of the area were employed to make jams, jellies and juices, earning the local women here a livelihood. For 2 weeks a year, when the berries are harvested, the women in about 30 villages earn about 500 to 800 rupees a day. Earnings are mostly ploughed back for development.
Our objective basically has been met, that, you know, they started conserving this plant, which eventually will help in, you know, conservation of the soil of that area.
Spiti was initially part of Tibet. It was all one kingdom and it was called Guge.
But it doesn't stop with the sea buckthorn. Ishita also conducts workshops on responsible tourism with hundreds of foreigners who come to Spiti every year.
So you have a lot of fossils of sea life that you can find out here.
Another pet project is to get the locals here to give up firewood and use energy sources like solar technology to warm their homes. With Ishita pressing on, hundreds of such homes are being built in Spiti Valley using solar technology, cutting down fuel wood consumption by a whopping 50%.
With these solar passive houses, we've put temperatures, you know, we've been gauging the temperatures over the winters, and temperatures don't drop below 10 degrees. So it's drastically cut down the amount of fuel wood and thus the amount of emission that's going into the atmosphere.
But Ishita still finds it difficult to forget the times when she almost packed up from the mountains in Spiti.
In 2003, we had a big setback. One of our friends, you know, the one who started it, one of the founders, Parikshit, he passed away in an accident. So that was a huge setback, and we actually considered whether we were going to go back or not. We somehow decided that, you know, there was a lot undone at that point in time. We had just started, so we went back and continued with our efforts.
As planet Earth's worst crisis sets foot in the Himalayas, this change maker is continuing her wonder work in the mountains.